Out here in YouTube land, there is a ton of information about how to build your guitar speed and speed licks, but very little mention about how to go about integrating it into your playing, especially in a tasteful manner. So in this video, we're going to take a look at how I would go about getting started with that and get you on the path to integrating these faster ideas into your solos in a smooth way. Let's check it out. Okay, in this lesson, we're going to use one single melodic phrase as a target for 3 different faster, speedier runs to act as a ladder to get to. So what I'm getting at is I'm going to use this phrase right here. As a target for 3 examples. 1 legato, 1 picking, and 1 bit of a combination. They're going to be 3 quicker runs which we're going to use to lead to that melodic phrase at 3 different tempos as well. In the first example, you'll notice that it's predominantly legato phrasing used to get to our melodic target. The entire riff and lick is in the key of C major. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm starting off with a group of 6 notes per beat, starting on the A string. We're going to play A, B, C, shifting over to E, F, G on the 3rd string. The fretting for both of these strings will be the same. It'll be 9, 10, 12 on both. And I initiate each string with a fairly quiet pick stroke. I don't want the pick strokes to be much louder than the rest of the notes, so we try to make the pick strokes invisible, so to speak. But I start off with a group of 6. So there's beat number 1. Now to get closer to our target, I'm going to play 2 groups of 8. So these will be 30-second notes. And the first group of 8 is entirely on the 2nd string. What I'm doing here is, so I'm playing A, B, C on the 2nd string, 10, 12, 13, and back down. And that's 5 notes. I've got 3 left to make 8. What I'm going to do there is shift my index finger to the 12. So you'll end up with this. From there, I'm going to add 2 more notes. I'll add C and D, 13 and 15. And there's your group of 8. All of that happens within 1 beat. So now we have this. So we had a group of 6, followed by a group of 8. Basically going to replicate what I just did on the 2nd string on the 1st string using the next group of notes in the key of C. So that's going to give us E, F, G on the 1st string, 12, 13, 15, and back down. And like we did on the 2nd string, I'm then going to take that note and shift to the next note in order, which will in this case be F. And I got 2 notes left. I'm going to hammer 15 for G and 17 for A, giving us this. So now we've got a group of 6, a group of 8, another group of 8, there we go. And the first note of our melodic phrase, when you heard it earlier, was a C. Well, due to the nature of the run that I'm using to get to our target note, I'm actually going to tap the 20th fret to get that first note of our melodic phrase. So it's going to go. So here it is again, the group of 6, 8, 8. I'm going to tap that first note and then proceed to get there. And that's lick number 1. The neat thing about this is there's going to be times where you're going to want a very smooth ladder to get to your melodic phrase, whatever it may be. And the easiest way to do that is to employ legato phrasing. So hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, taps. I've pretty much covered all 4 of those right in that one phrase. So that would be lick number 1. Example number 2 is going to consist of an alternate picked run to get to our target phrase. The difference here is an alternate picked run is going to have a decidedly more aggressive tone, which, depending on your song, depending on the setting you are in, that might be exactly what you're looking for. So I'm going to use this little run here. Shift. And basically this is again all C major. There's some string skipping involved, so it's going to give it a slightly more intervallic sound at certain points. And the way I've got this phrased at 32nd notes. So the tempo of the example you heard is 100 beats per minute. And essentially what I'm doing is using 2 beats to get to my target of the melodic phrase. So the first one, the legato one, we heard a 3-beat run up. This one's going to be only 2 beats. So you could almost imagine it like 2 into the phrase. So 2 beats as a run up. 32nd notes consist of 8 notes per beat. And so the initial 8 notes are going to start on the 5th string, 15th fret. I'm going to play C, D, E. So that's 15, 17, 19. I'm going to shift over to the 3rd string, 16th fret. And I'm going to play 16, 17, 19, which will give us B, C, and D, and then back down to the C and back to the B. So there's the first 8. That consists of beat number, well, technically beat number 3. From there, I'm going to shift up 1 fret to the C on the 3rd string, 17th fret, and I'm basically going to follow the same basic pattern. I'm going to do C, D, E. That'll be 17, 19, 21 on the 3rd string. And then I'm going to skip over to the 1st string, 17, 19, 20, and back down. So this will give us A, B, C, back to the B, back to the A. So that round will sound like this. So not a complicated run by any means, but at that tempo and with the little string skip there, there's a few things that can definitely act as a little hindrance. So here it is slow. And up to essentially the intended tempo. Now the C in our phrase, I'm going to actually approach from B as a bend, a half-step bend to C. So after coming out of this, the phrase technically ended on the 17th fret. I'm going to go right back to 19 with the ring finger. I'm going to reinforce it with the middle and index and give B a bend to C. So that'll be the first note of the phrase, and then from there I'm going to continue. So that's example number 2. Okay, the third example is going to be at a slower tempo than the previous 2. This is going to be at 80 beats per minute, and because of the slower nature of this particular phrase, the ladder that I'm going to use, the run up to the melodic phrase, is going to actually contain 2 different rhythmic values. We're going to go from 30 seconds to 16th note triplets in an alternating fashion up to the target note for the melodic phrase. So in this case, we're going to start on the 16th fret, 3rd string, and the group of 32nd notes is actually going to be 16, 19, 16, landing on 17 on the 4th string. So again, 16th fret, 3rd string is a B. We're then going to play D on the 19, back to the B, and then we're going to grab 17th fret, 4th string, which is a G. And so essentially what we're going to have is this. So I'm doing a pick, hammer, pull, pick. And both picks are downstrokes, in case you're curious. So 16 will be a down. It'll be a hammer onto 19, pull back to 16, and then 17 will be a down as well. To finish off this beat, I'm going to pick B, C, and D, all on the third string, up, down, up. So there's the essential idea. Okay, so we're going to take that same idea, we're going to move it to the next set of strings. We're going to move it to the B and G strings. I'm going to spread the notes a little further apart here as well. So we're going to have D on the second string, 15th fret. We're going to hammer the 20th fret, which is a G on the second string. The low note is going to be C on the third string, 17th fret. So those are your 30 seconds right there. The triplet that we're going to use to end it will be D at the 15, E at 17, and back to G at 20. And that'll be up, down, up again. And there's that group. So now we have okay, we got one more. We're going to do first string. 15, hammer 19. That's going to give us G and B and back. So G, B, back to the G. And we're going to land on 17 on the second string for E, which will be our 32nd note grouping. Finally ending on G, A, and B on the first string, 15, 17, 19. And then we can actually just shift our pinky to the 20th fret to start our. So here's the lick slow. And at the approximate tempo. And there's another possible way to have a ladder up to a melodic phrase that isn't all 32nd note alternate picking. As mentioned before, all of these licks and exercises can be found in PDF and Guitar Pro format in the description below, so be sure to check that out. And check out this other video for more ideas regarding your soloing and technique. Thank you. We'll see you soon.